Welcome back to New York Revival. That music gets me going every time. I'm your man El Jefe with the big dog Spiro, aka Spee, if you nasty. Our main
Let's
man, our
go.
fearless leader Eli, has got the night off. He will be missed, and he is much cooler than I am with the intro. I gotta say, he makes that look easy. It's not
He's
that
got that
easy.
MC.
I
He's got that
kind of
MC blood.
kind of feel like I nailed it though.
You did. I mean, listen, we nobody can match up to E, but like you just came in nice and hot, leading us in like the fearless leader that you are, and we're back into this thing, baby. Let's go.
I apologize if there's any feedback there. There's YouTube link in the background there. I think it started playing. I don't know if you caught that. But anyway, um, you know where we're starting, baby.
Yeah.
You know
Oh,
exactly where we're starting. New York Rangers. New York
yes.
Rangers, man. Talk of the town. Could not be a more exciting victory the way they pulled that out. It was
God.
absolutely unbelievable. What were you doing for the game? And I assume you're still riding high from that because I am too.
Dude, I mean that first of all, the series was being down 3-1, being down in every single game after that, coming back every single time, even up until game 7 down 2-0 and just like feeling totally deflated. I was already congratulating my Penguins fan friend. I was like, great series, trying to like, do the old reverse jinx, just throw that out there. And as soon as I said it, of course, the whole mojo got turned around. I'm sitting here by myself. By the way, it's hard to have two kids that are sleeping and watch a game 7. It's really freaking hard. I don't have a man cave yet in this house,
Oh, that
so
needs
it
to happen.
was a lot of like.
It must have been that the whole time.
Yeah,
Dude,
but dude, elated. How about you, man? Where did you watch that game?
I was at TK's house, aka
Oh,
Carlos, and
love
he
it.
had like 5 or 6 guys over, and there was
Perfect.
no
No
noise
kids.
issue. He has no
Oh my god,
kids. He
so
has
jealous.
what's called freedom. So
Yes,
he
that whole thing.
he orders fried chicken. He's got beers out the wazoo. He's doing this. He's doing that. We
Yeah.
were going nuts. So when the
Oh my
goal actually went in, I didn't know what to do. So I just started like grabbing people, and I started the screaming that's going on was nuts. I fall back like over a couch. I bring somebody with me.
Oh,
One
it's
of
the best
our
in the
feet
world.
hit a flower pot that was on the shelf. Probably like my buddy's wife probably like was watering this thing every day. And then
You just ruined weeks of work.
oh God, who knows how long? I hope it wasn't a special plant. Like
Oh,
that was my
shit.
grandma in there.
I know, right?
Yeah, well
been
now
our
she's
family,
on
been in our family for generations.
the carpet, and he's like
Oh god.
trying to celebrate while vacuuming up the
Oh,
carpet and everything. So like I was that guy.
yo,
Um,
so much fun though.
dude,
So much
so
fun.
worth it.
I
What
mean,
nothing compares.
nothing. I mean,
Nothing
listen.
compares to playoff hockey.
All we and all, the past couple of days, all I've been watching is reaction videos, reactions from the Rangers on the national bench, fans in the stands, fans at home. Like I've been doing that for the past 2 days, just on cloud 9, man. There's nothing better than that. Nothing better than hockey and NHL playoffs. I mean, bar none, it's the best. You sit there and watch the last 2 game 7s of the NBA finals in round 1. Despicable. That's how much fun those games were. It was night and day compared to hockey. Like this is why they
Well,
say hockey playoffs are the best, baby.
they are. Let me ask you this though, because it's very recency bias because those 2 basketball games happen to be very
Right.
uninteresting and even kind of surprising outcomes. Do you think it's because of the nature of how those games played out, or does I mean, I think hockey had the edge regardless. Don't get me
Right,
wrong. I think
right,
it's a much better playoff sport. Maybe only the Giants being in the playoffs could, you know what I mean? Like it's
right.
up there, but the hockey is just so intense. Basketball just doesn't have the same vibe. The Knicks have
No.
also been irrelevant for 20 years, so that doesn't help either.
I'll tell you what though, like it's more than just the home team bias for me too. I mean, granted, obviously, I feel like the Rangers every time they're in the playoffs, they play like nail biting, like gut wrenching games all the time going over. But like, I was sitting up watching the Stars Calgary Flames game at 11:30, 12 p.m. at 12 a.m. in the morning. Like I'm so like revved up in this NHL playoffs season, and I have my brother-in-law who's a Philadelphia Flyers fan. He's like, man, it's like refreshing to watch good hockey, like playoff hockey. Like you have random fans that come back to watch this stuff, man. It's great. I've said it since day one, man. NHL playoffs, there is nothing like it. And that's why
nothing like it.
I want all these our casual fans out there to join in and watch this run, have fun with us. Win or lose this next round, we'll see what's going to happen. But like, just enjoy the ride with us because it's gut wrenching and also amazing at the same time.
It's awesome. That's like we're trying to get Eli into hockey a little bit, more and more. But unfortunately, like the 2 games he watched were not good games for the Rangers, so they didn't help. And then he was trying to do us a solid and not watch Game 7 because he thought he was the problem.
Yes, it's superstition to the max. We're all superstitious. We're all going our playoff beards. I see you got one going on right there, Jeff.
It's going.
But listen, we have a guest to come join us today. We got a special Ranger fan guest to come in. He giving us some time, just enjoying the party with us. Jeff, you want to bring him in? We want to bring the big guy in? Let's go.
Fly guy, let's go, baby.
Let's go.
Let's go, baby. Let's go.
We got
nice to see you, sir.
So good to be here, guys. So good to be here talking Rangers hockey, guys.
Cheers to you, buddy.
Thank you so much for bringing me on.
So listen.
What were you doing? I got to know, what were you doing for Game 7? Because I've seen the videos that have come out of people celebrating are just freaking awesome. I'm so mad I didn't set up a camera for the scene that happened.
I know
with me, but
what was I doing during games? I was giving birth. I think I blew out about 5 children. I mean,
facts.
I was home and so I have a very bad habit of during the games in the playoffs. I can't just sit and watch. I've got to stand and I've got to coach.
A lot of standing.
And I was kind of freaking my dogs out. So I tried to kind of sit down a little bit and just, watch the game. And then when that OT winner went in, my one dog went flying across the I forgot he was on my lap. And that dog, it was like I punted him. He just took off.
That's freaking great, dude.
I picked them up, dusted them off, and we were good.
Yeah, right.
So
good to go.
It's great. It's a great time of the year.
Oh, we got a little update here. All good vibes. I'm telling you, since the revival has begun, have you not felt a different vibe in New York sports?
Yeah. Let's
If
go.
you don't feel it, you're lying. Thank you, Chuck, for jumping in. Judge back-to-back home runs.
It's true. I mean, like we got the Mets that won their first game in their doubleheader. Right. Both teams are in first place. The Rangers are leading the charge.
Yeah.
Good drafts from the Jets and the Giants. Things are.
And we're going to definitely
feel like they're turning around.
We're going to get into the Giants. That's our bread and butter later on. But I got to give some credit to the Jets for that draft that they had. I feel like they basically got like 4 first-round drafts.
They nailed it.
They did well.
Give credit. Look, it kills me. It kills me that the Jets and the Eagles had great drafts.
Yeah.
That's torture, but you got to give credit.
See, maybe I'm a different kind of Giants fan. It doesn't bother me when the Jets, are on their way or whatever. The Eagles, anybody in the division, even Washington doesn't hurt me as bad as Philly and Dallas. Philly and Dallas, I despise to my core. But there's just, I don't know, Washington. Maybe it's the kind of thing that you just don't take them all that seriously, and maybe I'm a dick for saying that. But to be fair, the Giants have been the Jets. So when people say Daniel Jones sucks and the Giants aren't shit, it's because we've been the Jets, as far as they're concerned. So we watch the team so close that we look at it through different lens. But until we start winning games, it doesn't matter.
As good of a draft as the Jets had, you know what just kept popping in my head the entire draft with every Jets pick, and every pick was great. But it's the Jets, same old Jets.
They'll find a way.
I'm sorry for anybody out there that likes the Jets, but the Jets.
Hey man, we'll see how it all plays out. But there's nothing. Everything has gone according to plan for a long time right now, and it's lovely to see. But hey, we have now a big night ahead of us tomorrow night. Round 2, Carolina. How are we feeling here? Are you to the point where we won the first round, now we're good, or let's go, we're going to win a cup? Where are you at here in between those two levels?
So I'm going to answer you in a minute. So first of all, I got to apologize for not having my hat. A very special friend of mine gave me a great Rangers hat, but number one, I couldn't fit in my suitcase, and then number two, I didn't want to squash it. That hat's got to be in prime condition, although I throw it a couple times. But agreed. You're seeing my billboard here. But anyway, to answer your question, no. You know what? I'll save moral victories for the off season. We're here. I don't want to hear we're a year ahead of where we should be, and nobody expect. We're here. Let's win it.
Right. I feel you, brother. I love that.
I want to ask
Go
you
big or
guys.
go home, guys.
I want to ask you guys a question. So, say there's somebody that's just getting into the Rangers, bandwagon, and they watch the first round. Now they're sucked in. Maybe you guys can help paint a little picture of why Carolina is a tough matchup for the Rangers. Why is this? Like Ryan Mead is one of those guys that he's one of my favorite, maybe my favorite Rangers content creator. The guy's all over it. And he's basically saying this is a nightmare matchup for the Rangers. So maybe you guys could help shed a little light on why that may be so. Spiro, what you got?
You want me to jump in?
I mean, so let's start off with the obvious in that they've really had our number the past. Let's say since the bubble, the whole bubble thing. They since then they took it to us, and we kind of have been chasing them ever since. And that goes for this year too. We finished second place to them. They beat us a couple times in the regular season. They have 5 former Rangers, basically that know how this team operates, how these players operate.
Yeah.
They have good goaltending. They got a good coach in Rod Brindamore. They're sound everywhere. They just got good players everywhere, top to bottom, depth everywhere. Yeah. So we thought Pittsburgh was going to be a tough out. Reset the clocks here, because Carolina is a better overall team than the Pittsburgh Penguins. So buckle the fuck up, because it's going to be a tough one.
Yeah.
Damn, dude.
And here's the problem. Carolina is very fast. Number one, they're very aggressive on the forecheck. And, when that Pittsburgh forecheck gave us fits. And what I liked about what the Rangers did in Game 7 was that they were picking Pittsburgh up in the neutral zone, and they were hitting them before they crossed the blue line. I was trying to pay attention to that. I don't know if they can do that with this team. I hope they can. But, to Spiro's point, they're so deep. They can roll 3 and 4 lines, and each line is just very skilled. They play well together. They've got a very good flow. They've got offensive defensemen. Great coach. I agree with Spiro. They're going to be tough.
We're gonna have to earn it, baby. We're gonna have to earn it.
Here we are.
Playoff hockey.
Let's go.
Yeah. Listen.
No fear. Well, I'm scared. I'm nervous, but bring them on.
We're all nervous. We understand they're a very good team, but let's not act like they're the Edmonton Oilers of the past, or the Islanders that won 3 straight cups either. Like, this team has never really done anything like substantial yet. So let's not make them out to be Goliath either. Yeah. Listen, Igor gets hot, and he could be anybody. Anybody. He is going to be a Vezina winning goalie in short order. I think what happened with Igor, he looked a little human because he had to save 100 shots in Game 1, and that will take a toll on anybody. There was a stat, I think it was 290 something saves for the whole series,
I believe it was,
which is the most all time in a series. So, I mean, I think he looked a little worn down, but you know what? He got sharper as Game 6 and 7 went on, and we seemed to get like good Igor back, a great Igor back.
I saw good Igor in Game 7. That was really encouraging. I don't blame him for any of the goals. And like here's a good comment. Like Nate, I know Nate knows his shit when it comes to Giants and football. This is a really, really good time to give hockey a shot.
Jump in now, man.
Jump in now. I'm not saying you have to be a bandwagon fan and like pretend like you're a diehard Rangers, but like just watch it. And like if you enjoy a competition of watching sports, like obviously you do, watching the Giants, this is a different level. And as you start to get your favorite players and you see who does what well, the Rangers are really freaking fun, man. And that's why, like, with the goaltender that we have, that the Rangers have, and the goal scorers that the Rangers have, and that potential there with the kids coming up and playing well, I see that they have the potential to beat anybody. There's no reason why they can't do it. It's just like you need the things to break the right way.
So let me ask you guys a question. And I've been thinking back on this since the first series ended. I hate to blame Crosby getting knocked out of Game 5 as a turning point. So as much as it is, because you know what? He
Yeah.
was the guy.
He was having an all-time Crosby series. All time.
Annoyingly good.
Oh.
He was.
So
He was
do you
carrying them.
guys think him going out is what restored the confidence and turned that entire series around?
There was a couple of things. There was that. There's no doubt. You take out their best player, and the air out of the balloon came out of it. You could see it. And then I think it was Rodriguez that took a horrible penalty. And their coach just you could see him shooting lasers through his player. He's like, you just gave them momentum back. We scored on the power play, and those two instances in my mind are like, okay, turning points, and that's all it takes, man. It's one injury, and let's clear this up too. Like Trouba was poke checking the hockey puck before he hit Crosby. The stick right in between his legs. It was an awkward hit. There was no head hunting. There's no it's an awkward hit that happened. And listen, Trouba's been under the watchful eye of NHL all season long. He's made hard hits all season long. All have been clean. So they were looking extra careful at that hit. And it's their golden boy Crosby. If they didn't see anything wrong with that, there's nothing wrong with the hit. So let's clear that up, fucking Penguins fans. Stop bitching about it. I'm sick of hearing it.
And it wasn't even it wasn't an egregious hit. It wasn't like he took his head off.
Out of his way to hit him.
It was a collision. It was a collision.
Yes. Right. It's a very good way to describe it.
So I mean, listen,
it helps.
I think here's the good thing about this. I think that there were several players, and I don't know if Fly Guy and Jeff, if you agree with me, that didn't play to their peak levels in round one. So that, in my mind, bodes well for round two. Like a Panarin, Igor was up and down. Fox was up and down. The young guys are getting their footing. All that, they've gained immeasurable experience now, and they're all vets now. The young guys are vets. There's no more rookies. They played 82 games in a 7-game series. They've seen it all now. Now, I'm so excited to see what happens round two. Like, do they get a breath of fresh air? Does this now give them confidence? Like, what do you guys think? There's room to go up high, right?
Oh, absolutely. Well, think about it. Games. So we lost game one. We won game two. We got smoked 3 and 4 in Pittsburgh.
Yes. Oh, yes.
But the thing is, if you notice, for most of those games, those first couple of games, our 2 top lines were invisible.
Mm-hmm.
These last couple of games, our 2 top lines are starting to heat up.
Mika.
Think about it. Kreider, Mika, Panarin. I don't know where Strome's been.
Invisible.
Right. Kopp has been great. I love having Mott back. I think Mott's injected some energy back into they're saying Goodrow may come back. But if you notice, once those top players started heating up, the entire team went with them.
Yep.
So if they could carry that into round two, I'll go to battle with that.
Yeah, it was a really interesting series, and like Rob makes a good point too. Like the Rangers scored in the third period, right? And it was brought back.
Right.
Then but then again, if you're Pittsburgh and you're on your third string goalie, and then you lose Crosby, and the fact that you still made it to Game 7, you could say that they overachieved too at the same time. But I think for this exact Rangers team, it was such a good experience. Even though aside from the physical toll, like triple overtime in the first game, then going 7 games. The physical toll obviously is important, but I think having come out on top and the way they did, and Panarin, how he was struggling to get the game winner at home in the Garden, was one of the most electric moments. Like I'll never ever forget that. And Panarin could carry him through the playoffs. Like he could be back. Like how do you think he's been feeling the last 3 days? After that goal? Are you kidding me?
He admitted after the game. He said, "I got to shoot more."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay,
shoot. Please. That's what's and this is why he struggled throughout his whole career kind of in the playoffs, is because he's a finesse guy and he's always trying to make that extra pass. Hockey, it's get the fucking puck on net in the NHL playoffs. Yeah, it's going to be ugly. It's going to be ugly. You have to grind out some goals, cheap goals. You saw the Penguins. How many lucky bounces and puck luck goals did they get? They were throwing everything on net, bouncing off the goalies, bouncing it off the sticks. Like you just have to get ugly in the playoffs, and I'm really hoping that this will spur everybody on to like not make that extra pass, Put it on net. See what happens. Just see what happens.
The person I watched the game with, very special friend of mine, must be so sick of hearing me just scream pucks on net. But you know,
it sounds cliche,
also,
but it's facts.
It's hockey 101.
Oh God!
But you know what else really turned this around that I don't think anybody is really giving enough credit to? Ryan Lindgren coming back after an injury. Because if you think about it, when he went down, Fox struggled, right? Because Fox's game is jumping into the rush.
Yep.
And then when Lindgren was out, Fox was so worried about the defensive assignments that his offensive game dropped.
Yep.
Now you
100%.
got Lindgren, a physical stay-at-home defenseman, where Fox can jump into the rush, who's another offensive weapon, not have to worry about the defensive cover. And how about Keandre Miller?
Huge. This guy is coming into his own, baby.
I love this guy. I'm so jacked up. I'm flying all over the Midwest, and you know what? Screw being tired. I'll be tired after.
Let's go. We'll sleep after the playoffs. We'll sleep in July.
Absolutely. This is great.
Oh,
big time. Big fan. Eli Rax.
Look who it is. Look who it is.
Eli.
We miss you, baby.
Brother.
But I just sent him the link if he's able to jump in. He's more than welcome to, obviously.
This is what I love, though, guys. Like, we're getting all ramped up. There's something about the Rangers that grasps the city in this tri-state area when they're doing good. I got texts from people. First of all, there's about 6 numbers that I didn't even know. I was talking with them all game long. Like I knew them. Like, just random people are reaching out and excited about the Rangers right now because it's literally sweeping the city. Like, when the Rangers are good, the city freaking is going to explode.
It is electric. It's electric. It's just when the Rangers and the Knicks look. New York loves their sports teams, and
sure.
You know, I look. Every town loves their sports teams, but there's something about the electricity in New York, or let's just say the metropolitan area.
Yes. Yes.
I don't know. You can't. Unless you're into it and you feel it, you really can't describe it. Other than it's just an electricity. Everybody's friends. Everybody's walking around with smiles on their face.
Yeah,
I'm getting up all crazy hours. I'm not getting sleep, and I'm still happy. It's the best thing in the world, guys. I love it.
It's a big part of like the whole revival movement. What we're trying to do is that New York sports have been down, like really, really down, like for a decade.
Yeah,
and everybody is on the up right now. So like I think. When a team has success like the Rangers are right now, you have all this pent up aggression, like for so many years of being down that you're like pouring it. Like when Panarin scored that goal, it was the release of a decade of frustration, like in that moment. So for anybody who's younger and like maybe doesn't remember the Eli Super Bowl runs as well, maybe you were like a young teenager or something like that. Hang on, because it feels good, unbelievable when it finally comes through.
But also, I want to say one last thing. Like, you know, what's the saying? Like, water lifts all boats. You know, you could see the Mets players are there. Giants players are there. Like New York.
Ryan Daboll was there.
Daboll's there.
Yeah,
like
in his Jordans.
They're feeding off the energy of the Rangers, and you have Nimmo out there. He's like, man, that's what a playoff game in New York feels like. Like, imagine how it's going to be when we go out there, and like it just you feed off each other.
Oh, guys, I'm so sorry. We have a caller in. Eli from Staten Island. How you doing, Eli?
Oh man, I made it. You don't know, it's a great day for me, man. I've been trying all my life to get here, work up the courage, and I'm finally talking to the revival guys. Oh my God.
Yeah, welcome to the show, man.
How you doing? Oh,
Eli, how are you, my brother?
Hey, what's going on? Oh, guys, listen, I've been listening for a long time. I just got to say, Jefé, man, I love your blue and white jersey. Oh, my God, I'm going to cry. I'm going to cry.
Please, Eli, what you drinking? Man. What you thinking, man?
Oh, listen, what I'm drinking was just a few beers. What I'm thinking is how can I be part of this show, man? Hi, Mom, I made it. I got Fly Guy. Oh, my God. Is that Spiro? Glass half full? Is that Speed if you nasty?
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
That's right. That's in the flesh, baby.
In the flesh. Oh, my God.
I love the way he said, Speed if you Maybe we can
have
this guy Eli on. Maybe let him do the intro next time.
Oh, listen, give it to that guy vibes, man. He's terrible anyway.
I can tell this guy Eli from Staten Island's got the talent.
He's got it. I don't know what it is, but he's got it.
Are you accepting
Eli,
the
it's so good to finally talk to you, brother. It really is.
Fly Guy, what's going on, my brother? It's about time. I heard you was going to be on the show. I had to tap in and just have a conversation with you real quick, man. Thank you so much for stopping by New York Revival.
So appreciate you stopping in, Eli.
Listen,
anytime.
we need so E did us all a favor and didn't watch games 6 and 7 because he felt he was bringing the bad vibes. You know, you feel
the
it.
2 games I watched, we lost.
Yeah, I hear you feel it. You feel it when you're not bringing the good vibes. But listen, round 2 is a different beast now. Now we're back in. We're back in here, right? We're coming back in.
I told Spee and I told Jefé, I'm like, listen, man, I took these last couple games off. I gotta watch the second round. I have to. I'm gonna get in there early. But however, if they lose, I'm out. I'm out. The rest of the series, I'm out. I'm good. I'll just see the highlights and hear it from my guys. I'm out.
Try to just watch it to get into the sport, because it's not gonna ruin your day at this point, right? Like, you're just getting into the Rangers and everything. So it's so intense, dude. So intense.
Listen,
and I'm going to a concert tomorrow night. I'm not even gonna be able to watch the game.
Oh, what are you doing?
I'm gonna be streaming it down here.
Oh, what are you doing?
The tickets were precious.
Oh my God!
You know something crazy? I was texting Spee on the side, like, man, what does this mean? What is that? Why is he in a penalty? Why is there only 4 people or 3? Like, so I asked all these questions, man.
Baby. I love it.
Man. It's pretty good. I love the sport. It's action packed. So, but man, Fly Guy, holy shoot, man, I'm here with Fly Guy. You know, man, I made it.
You're on. You made it.
Eli, how long has it been, Eli, since we've been talking to each other, getting together?
Way too long, brother.
Exactly,
and I'm happy. I'm happy we at least got a little bit of this opportunity tonight. I was supposed to take the night off, but like I said, I got to come and show support, especially when you're on here. So I
appreciate that, Eli. I appreciate you so much.
Best,
you know that, brother.
Hey, make sure, by the way, Fly Guy, right? You got to make sure you follow this guy. He's Fly Guy, as in Florida, FLA Guy 12 on Twitter, and Giant Zone 2022 is his podcast. Make sure you check that out too. Me and Spiro were guests on that a month or so ago.
Great show you guys got there.
Yeah.
And Eli's going to be on it too.
Let's go.
I wasn't sure if the cat was going to be out of the bag or not. I wasn't sure if you announced it. I wasn't sure if you announced it or not. So you guys heard it here first, man. I will be on the show. It's going to be awesome. We're going to have a good time, man.
Can't wait. Looking forward to it. And thank you guys for pumping the show. Really appreciate that.
Hey, we appreciate you for coming on, man.
Thank you.
We love working with you guys, and we're looking forward to a lot of fun things together. I got some ideas I'm going to share with you guys.
Let's go.
Yeah, we want to have some fun with you guys during the season. But look, we'll talk about that later. I've already got I've got the round 2 nerves going already. Like, I'm not going to sleep tonight.
It's like Christmas. It's Christmas Eve, right? Let's go. Yeah, I'm ready. Yo, again, Carl, Fly Guy, please, thank you for coming on. And you're always welcome on this show, man. But if you hang around, hopefully we can catch you on the flip side at the end of this show.
Sure.
But again,
sure. I'll try to hang around, guys. If you hear me snoring, just cut off my mic.
All right, good seeing you, brother.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Love you guys, man. Thank you. Keep doing what you're doing. Eli, we'll talk.
Definitely, brother. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Am I supposed to, like, you guys really, this caller is on here for a long time.
Yeah, well, you got special things that Eli from Staten Island, we've heard about this guy all the time, and now he finally calls in. We got to keep you on, man. You're like,
I appreciate that, man. Listen, I just got invited onto someone's YouTube channel that I don't like too much, which is pretty strange. I don't know. After all the talking, he wanted to debate, and then have me come on his channel was weird. Like,
I got your back. Let's go.
Thank you, man. It's just weird. May that person remain nameless. Jeez Louise.
We don't talk about
God bless you, brother. God bless you.
We don't talk about Bruno. We don't talk about Bruno.
We don't talk about no. Great freaking movie, by the way.
Actually, is a great movie. Should we share next Tuesday? We're gonna take the week off from doing a show, and us 3 are going to pack up our bags. We're going to go meet this caller from Staten Island that they call Eli, and we're going to go have some beers together, watch Rangers game 4 from a disclosed location. And Eli's going to pick a spot for us, but I can't wait to get together for some Rangers games, some Rangers beers. And that's going to be
what's
fun,
good about this time of the year right now. We're hanging out with our boys. This is like fun again.
And should we talk about Wednesday, or are we going to wait a little bit? All right, listen, but the point is, guys, we're working up some stuff for you guys soon. But yes, Tuesday, an undisclosed location. Unless these guys want to give up the location, you guys can
we'll keep down the DL.
Okay, never mind. Then we have a nice location. If you guys just happen to be there, you're there. But yeah, it'll be in my neck of the woods, so I can't wait for it, guys, man. I really can't. It's gonna be a great time.
I want to get the Eli live watching hockey experience for the first time,
Yes,
so it's gonna
yes.
be freaking awesome. Listen,
Listen, man, get the shots ready, okay? That's gonna be a great night, man. I'm telling you. We're gonna have a ball, man. I can't wait, brothers. But
Eli,
continue the show, man. But go
okay,
ahead,
man.
guys.
I was just gonna
Yeah.
ask you if you're hanging out or you got a boogie.
Oh no, I'm a boogie, man. You already know,
Okay.
man. You know, the other half is looking at me like, "What the hell are you doing on here?" So
Oh, well then. Well, thanks for calling in.
Kelly
Great
said
caller.
hi.
Thank you, guys. I'll talk to you in a bit, man. I'll see you guys soon. Love you guys.
Peace.
Peace, peace.
All right, we got our next guest lined up.
Yes.
He's big time on Twitter. He's got one of those really fancy check marks. I don't know if you've seen that.
Yeah, the little
Mr. Verified.
Oh,
Bill Presty, how we doing, buddy?
I'm just a regular guy, I promise. I'm a regular guy. I had to sleep with a few people. I got the blue check.
Gotta do what you gotta do, right?
Sailing ever since. You guys are on your way, I'm telling you.
I love it. I love it.
I like how Eli, I'll call him last caller. I like how
Yes,
he just bounces
yes,
right
last caller.
before I get on the show.
he wanted to get you to shine. He wanted
With this-
you to
is that what
get
it
you to
is?
shine. Yeah, that's what it was.
I like that spin. I like that. Look at us. We're looking at the ride. I'm rocking the Rangers.
Let's
shirt
go,
right now.
baby. Let's
I
go.
don't know if you guys are how big a Yankee guys you
Hey.
guys are, but
I'm Mets. Jeff is a little bit of a. Are you a Yankee fan?
I'm a
officially?
Yankee fan. I'm just not a huge baseball guy, but I'm a Yankee
That's
fan.
right.
that's cool. It's
listen,
weird with
we're-
me because like football, I can watch all day. The sport of football, I
Right.
love. The
Right.
sport of baseball, I'm not huge on, but I am as big of a Yankee fan as I am a Giant fan or any other
Wow.
fan. Like
Awesome.
something about being raised with probably non-Yankee fans will throw up from this, but being raised like a third generation Yankee fan, there's so much history. It's almost like a religion. You know what I mean? So
Yes.
it's just it's.
Oh, we hear about it all the time. Don't worry.
I know, and I know it's like, but you know what? There's optimism for a lot of, I guess, besides the Knicks. Thanks for having me on, by the way. You brought me on, and I'm like,
Hey.
I'm already talking more.
Yeah,
than you guys.
rude.
No, come on.
Yeah.
This is it.
Thanks.
This is it.
But I don't get to talk to a lot of people. This is big for me. I've been locked in
I
a
know.
closet for months now.
He doesn't get out much. He finally
but
got
no,
Wi-Fi. Here he is.
But besides, like, I guess the Nets are still up there, even though it kind of ended in disappointment, and the Knicks are kind of low. And there was one of the team that was and the Islanders had a bad year, but you've got like 5 teams that are kind of optimistic right now. The Yankees are doing, once a decade type stuff right now. I'm not sure Yankee fans are sure it's going to continue. We're a little, leery because of what's gone.
Kind of
The
seen it
Mets are
before.
feeling optimistic. Giants and Jets had good drafts. The Rangers are kind of giving us some life. So it's kind of a fun
good time.
time,
This and in terms of the Rangers, their stock, at least in the last 5 years, their stock has never been higher than it is right now. You just escaped round 1. It's a clean slate. You get to go at it again with a new opponent. Like the Rangers are the talk of the town right now. Like super high on them. I'm so freaking pumped, and I can't wait to Game 7 overtime is the most intense situation in sports. Because hockey goals happen so fast, and thank God we were on the right side of that. That's all I have to say.
Correct. I mean, that's true because I was discussing this with some other people that it's in football, you can sort of see a score coming.
Right.
Even in overtime, for the most part, you drive down the field. In baseball, the other team's going to get a chance. Both teams get their half of the inning. In basketball, there's usually not just like that one shot. There's a lot of shots back and forth that go in. It's so final. When the puck is in your end, you're about to go through hell and feel despair that you're going to have to sit with for months.
So uncomfortable.
When the puck just goes over that center line, you are now, this is the greatest moment of my life.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. It's like the closest I came to that in another sport, probably, or let's say in baseball, was in 2003 for the Yankees, the 2003 ALCS Game 7 extra innings, because the Red Sox-Yankees rivalry was so intense that I realized something is going to happen here where it's either going to be the lowest of the lows or the highest of the highs. And that's why the Boone home run was so weird, because it was his first at bat of the game.
Yeah, you didn't see it coming.
It's off a knuckleballer. It was the first pitch of the 11th inning. People were still getting to their seats.
Right.
And it was just like that. But no, hockey, there's nothing like it. A lot of people are discovering it now too. Like a lot of first timers are going, where have I been? This is awesome.
And like first of all, the ratings are through the roof. I was just saying the ratings earlier on the show. The most watched non NHL final game in about 4 years. So the people are noticing. ESPN coming in at the right time.
Yep.
Great playoffs. 5 game sevens. Are you kidding me? Round 1, like that's gold for them. They just struck gold.
It's cool. And the Rangers, I know a lot of this just has to do with the market, but it's pretty amazing. The Yankees are the highest grossing revenue baseball team. The Knicks and the Rangers are both make more money than any team in their sports.
The Knicks, that's a crime because how bad, like the Knicks should not be rewarded for what they've been doing for 20 years.
Can you imagine if they were good?
Right.
It's funny, right? It's funny.
That's why. Remember, after game 1, the streets were flooded. Like Knicks fans are gonna go fucking nuts when they're actually good again.
KD, don't you wish you were on the bridge? I love those guys.
I know they were chomping at the bit, man. I actually, so I'm a Nets fan, but I felt to the Knicks fans. I want them to be good, because again, when MSG is popping off in the middle of summer, there is nothing like it. It sweeps the nation, man. Like obviously this area we get all soaked up in it, but like literally it helps both sports when the Rangers and the Knicks are good. So
it's true.
It's a great time right now for us New York fans. I was listening to Michael Kay show, and they're like, there's some momentum building for New York sports again right now, and it feels like a dark cloud has been over us for what seems like a decade since our last championship. And, the Rangers are trying to fight through that ray of sunshine right now that we got some hope,
It's an interesting time for them because, I've been accused of, I feel like I'm a realistic fan, which gung-ho fans go like, why are you a negative fan? I'm like, no, I'm not a negative fan if I don't think my team's going to win every year. Like the Yankees are surprising me this year.
Yes.
The Rangers, before the playoffs started, I said, I think they'll beat Pittsburgh in a close series. I don't think they'll beat Carolina. And I hate to be the first bearer of bad.
That worries me a little bit because you perfectly predicted how the Giants season was going to go.
Well, if when you have the worst offensive line of football, lose your best lineman in Zeitler and come in that year expecting it to be a good line. I mean, that was like,
he sent me a tweet
that's like an 18-wheeler 2 inches from your face, and you predict this might hurt. It's like it pretty much. I think actually the analogy I used before the season was having the coaching staff say that they believe in this offensive line
more than we do
is like getting onto an airplane, seeing the engine on fire, and the pilot's like, I believe in that engine. This trip is not going to go well.
Nailed it.
Absolutely. That's exactly freaking right.
Anything that happened was, by the way, let me ask you guys, was that not the weirdest playoff series ever? This first series with the Rangers, I still cannot get a feel for what happened with a backup goalie, and then he leaves in the middle of overtime, and then our guy who's been great gets pulled twice, and then goals taken away and reviewed, and then you've got Crosby out, Crosby back, then the first stringer comes back in, and then it was
felt like a season worth of stuff that went on in one series.
Dude, it was like a long-term relationship, all the ups and downs and the heartache and the elation, devastation. It had it all.
And then we're just round one.
It seemed like every goal that they got, and they were like legit for the most part, but they had to get a review. Like every time we went to review, it's like, oh, let me guess another goal.
They nailed every one of them.
But they were goals. So
it was also so strange. It was also so strange how the Rangers scored, because I would say probably Pittsburgh kind of controlled about 75% of the series, and the Rangers would have a 5-minute spurt in the middle. Eli, I'll play it up now. Oh, yeah. How on earth did I miss
Too little, too late, pal.
How did I miss Will? Let me reenact it for you. Oh, here comes Will. I'm out. That's right. Now, Eli, nothing but love. I love you, buddy. We'll do this again. But the Rangers, they scored in spurts.
Yeah.
It was like a 5-minute thing where they look like, the old Edmonton Gretzky Messier team.
Yeah, it was wild.
and then they'd go back to just not. So the only game that felt sort of normal was game 7. It was like one team scored, another team scored. Goalies played pretty good. Igor picked a great time to have his first.
Thanks for showing up. Thanks for showing up in game 7.
But we were just, so what? It's weird because every time the vibes were off, I'm a very superstitious guy. I'd be like, all right, I'm going upstairs. I'm gonna go change the kid.
I'm gonna take a shower.
3 goals will get scored as I'm upstairs. I was like, now I can't go downstairs again. So like, I'm stuck upstairs, not watching the game, and then I eventually have to come back down. But like honestly, it happened 3 times where you just step away for a little bit when you think the game's over, and the game would just flip on its fucking head. It instantly.
What game
in
was
3
it?
games in a row.
What game was it? Okay, it was game 4, I believe, when the Rangers scored those 3 goals once Crosby went out, right? That was game 4
or game 5. Game
That was
5.
5.
Okay,
I
right.
think.
Because they 2-2-1-1, right?
Yeah.
I still think sometimes 2-3-2, like they
Mhm.
used to do, or like certain sports do. So
Right.
I'm one of these guys who it's like a drug. I have to rewind goals. I have to get the crowd
Yes.
feel. I'm up all night after a win watching
Yes,
it. It's
same.
like I don't do drugs. I hardly drink. Don't let the bottle. Don't let the bar hear food.
Sure. Yeah, right. The full
Yeah,
bar
yeah,
over
yeah.
your shoulder
This
within
little
arm's reach
Sinatra
at all
select
times.
over it,
Whatever you gotta say, bud.
But no. Hey, listen, you guys.
I just figured he was a raging alcoholic.
Hey, Dumb and Dumber ref. I love it. 10 in the morning. But wait, so I think it was I forget who scores the first goal. So I just rewind it, an innocent rewind, and then I get a text. Oh, they scored again. So I hit live, and I think Trouba had scored. So I go to rewind the Trouba goal. My parents FaceTime me that the Rangers scored again, and as I'm like, "Are you kidding me?" I go to put it on, and my dad yells out, "F! The Penguins just scored." I missed like 4 goals in a minute.
It was absolutely bonkers, dude. Bonkers.
So
and we're just saying there's three elimination games in a row, down in each game. Like it's stress level on 10. You know,
like
it's
at one
just
point,
ridiculous.
Rangers are down 3-1 in the series and down 2-0. Like that was our
think it's game
reality.
over?
That was reality for like the season was on life support, and then that's the thing with hockey. It just happens so freaking fast.
The weird thing about this team, and again, I don't have necessarily the utmost confidence. I still think they're a player away from being a serious contender. But
Thanks, Will.
But that player could be coming off the. It could be Tyler Mott.
Oh, hey, look at that! Look at that! Saves it.
But they do
Bring me back up.
But they do have a magical quality to them. And even when they were down 4-1 or 4-0 in that one game, I was like, I think they could come back, and they did come back to tie. They do have that sort of magical, ability where even with 5 minutes to go in Game 7, I felt like something's going to happen here.
Right.
So fun times, man. Stressful.
Yeah.
Will, can I ask you a non-sports question?
Yeah, go ahead, man.
I forget if it was because I was like stalking you or maybe you put a link up or something, but like I found some like stand-up comedy that you used to do.
Yeah.
And do you do any stand-up? I mean, do you do stand-up or comedy anymore? What are you doing with that?
Well, I'm a little insulted that you don't consider what I've just done comedy. It's like former funny man Will. Thanks a lot, bro.
No longer.
Well, you used to be funny.
What do you have a personality? I know you used to have a personality. Yeah, I've dabbled in stand-up throughout my life, comedy writing and different things. Since COVID started, the idea of having people laugh at you, it's sort of being a funny person during COVID is sort of like being in front of a firing squad. I found myself purposely holding in jokes so I don't get, you know what I mean? But no, I've dabbled in comedy. It's something I tend to go back to once in a while, but it's not like a consistent type of thing. But yes, I did notice you stalking me, which is why my blinds are down. I saw you in the bushes. But yeah, you could ask me anything. I mean, whatever you want, world affairs, rainforest. I do have to just real quick before anyone gets mad at me, you guys, I just have to rep the Bleed Big Blue pod that I do once in a while. It's a lot of Giants pod.
Absolutely.
We
don't have a set schedule, usually like a Wednesday, Thursday, but Bleed Big Blue, me, Marco, and Jack, we're just doing some Giants pod stuff, which I think is cool. And I love that you guys are doing all of New York kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? I've seen you guys are branching out a little bit. Yeah. How's that going?
We are trying to do, we're an entertainment / New York podcast. And we want to talk about everything under the sun, and that's how we had the lovely Joy Taylor on. Tiki Barber could do anything. He's New York sports talk radio right there. So he was easy. We want to talk everything, but it's just what feels good is that we could talk about whatever we want to talk about at that time. And I think that me, Eli, and Jeff, we're pretty diverse enough to where we can talk about it, and why not? Let's have fun. We got a voice here. Let's use it.
Absolutely.
I got some beers. Let's drink them.
So you're you're Rangers, you're Mets, you are what's your full round up there? Nets,
Rangers, Mets, Nets, and Giants. Man, that's the whole.
Okay.
Yeah,
and I have the correct 4, which is Giants, Rangers, Yankees, Knicks.
Exactly.
The usual. He's the usual. I'm not the norm here.
A close friend of the family I was just talking to, and he said something, and I'm not trying to rip on you, Rob, if you're watching, but he's a Rangers, he's a Mets, Jets, Knicks, Rangers fan, and he's early 30s, and he was like, I just want to see one championship in my lifetime. And that blew my mind because I'm like, wow, I'm spoiled that I've gotten to see a few, between the Yankees and the Giants, I've gotten to see that. I was like, wow. And we share the Rangers, him and I. So finally we can root for a team together. So, but what are your guys' expectations? Because, when I said I see them sort of, being a year away or a player away, I know Jefé, you got yourself a little.
My panties. You could say my panties were in a bunch. It's fine.
No, what's your feel though? What are you? Do you consider yourself an honest, realistic fan, or are you just like screw that? I'm gonna.
The Giants have forced me to become an honest, realistic fan in terms of all sports, and your tweets in late August have certainly brought me back down to earth too. But I think the Rangers can be dangerous because they have arguably the best goaltender in the league. He certainly played that way for most of this year. Obviously, the first round didn't go as well as it could have. And I just love how dangerous they can be. This team we're playing has a bunch of former Rangers, which I think will make this interesting too. But I think Carolina is probably the better team, but that doesn't mean that the Rangers can't win. So I'll hang on to that, and I'm gonna love every second of it.
Oh yeah,
agreed.
I mean, listen, it sounds kind of defeatist almost, but I don't mean it to be. I feel like right now the Rangers are playing with house money because I expected them to win one round, and they're still a very young team that's at the very beginning of they're just out of the rebuild. This is the first year of contending. Very rarely do you see a team go from rebuild to winning the cup just like that. It's usually a process. You lose a couple of heartbreaking series throughout the whole time. But the way they just came out of that series, like they scrapped, you're like, man, I don't want this season to end now. It's just, I'm so wrapped up in this team, and they've bounced back every freaking time this year. Like every time they've hit adversity, a tough loss, they bounce back. Every time they're down in a game, they bounce back.
Did they come up with that hashtag right before this playoff run? The no
quit.
Yeah,
no quit. Just
so that couldn't have been better timing. Will, I want you to if you're willing, I want you to nice, Jeff. I want you to hang out with us, keep hanging out with us. But I want to bring on, because I didn't think we were going to talk Rangers this long. Obviously, we're very excited, but I want to bring on somebody who has a very nice shirt on right now, and that's he's really Twitter famous. This is Snacks. How we doing, Snacks?
Hey, let's go. Let's go.
What's up, boys? How are we?
What's on the back of that jersey?
Nothing, and here's why.
Okay.
Oh boy,
what Yankees on us?
Because it only matters what's on the front. All that matters is, I guess I got.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yes. You see, it's the logo on the front that matters. I love it.
Not the name on the back. So I buy T-shirts with the name on the back of guys I like. That's one thing, because then I don't have to buy those again. But with a jersey, you always got to go with this, because you could wear. Spiro, you could say it. I could wear it whenever I want. Whenever.
Hell yeah, buddy.
Say this was Ryan Callahan. You think I'm going to wear Ryan Callahan in the 2022 playoffs? I'm not going to do it. I will. I do want to say one thing in watching the last few minutes. Will, you are a professional. You sound unbelievable.
He's a pro's pro.
Everything
thank you so much.
Flows out beautifully.
And he used to be very funny.
That's another thing I want to ask about too. Where can I watch some of this stuff?
You'll talk to my stalker after the show. He's got. I did a really good stand-up routine in the shower that he caught the other day from the window. He had the binoculars. No, I'm in the city. I used to do stuff, but I haven't done it in a little bit. But I appreciate it. Thank you so much. It's just there's no talent in being a ham. Let me tell you.
That's fair.
If I can ask Snacks a question,
yes.
Are there those jerseys though? Because I agree with you that if there's someone from like 8 years ago who's just off the team. It's kind of weird. But to me, you can always like an LT jersey to a Giant game, a Messier jersey to a Ranger game. That's like, a Jeter jersey to like, there's certain jerseys that it kind of supersedes that. Do you feel me?
I absolutely agree. I still wear my LT jersey to games sometimes.
Yeah, old school always works.
Or I'll wear a Jeter or my Tino jersey, one or the other. But those guys are champions and they're figureheads of winning, winning championship teams. The Rangers, the last 2 jerseys I have were Dan Girardi, who was a great player, phenomenal. He didn't win.
Ranger. He was a good
Warrior,
Ranger.
but didn't win.
Warrior,
Right? Yeah.
And Dubinsky, great Ranger.
We love Doobie.
Didn't
too.
win.
Yeah,
those guys didn't win. And I listen. I love them and respect them. I'm not ashamed that I have their jerseys in my closet.
Right.
But in the moment, I'm gonna take the jersey that just has Rangers, nothing on the back, and that's what I'm gonna roll with. But
respect, buddy.
I do understand what you're saying. My favorite Ranger for a I guess he was here for maybe 3-4 years was Brandon Prust. Love him.
Love
just
gritty,
an absolute dog.
Yes, he was.
Just did the nitty gritty shit that I loved. He used to beat the shit out of people. I loved everything about Brandon Prust.
Scrappy.
But I was always hesitant to buy his jersey because I'm like, all right, I don't think we're gonna win a Stanley Cup, and he's not the world's greatest player. Where he's gonna
how long is he gonna be around?
Right, how long is he gonna be around? But I did buy a shirt.
Hey,
buy a shirt.
I love the jersey.
No, I do have a Brandon Prust shirt.
They were ripping Michael K because his jersey is a Shattenkirk jersey.
Oh,
you can't wear that.
Did you hear him? Was it yesterday? He was asking. He's like, if I go to the game, should I wear my Shattenkirk jersey?
Dude, no, bro. I hope Don set him straight. Donnie set him straight.
Don usually does. Does.
What did you do? Game 7. What was your setup?
How loud? Yeah, how much cursing? This guy's a big cursor.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, I love it. It's just how I talk.
Let's go.
So it's funny. Game 7, I watched. I probably shouldn't admit this out loud.
It's not, well, this won't be broadcasted or anything. So.
No.
We're not live or anything.
No, of course not.
Speaking of which, I got to retweet it. So I was waiting until I came on. So the third period in overtime, I actually watched with Justin and Bobby Skinner.
Hey, okay. Talking Giants.
Down. Jeff, Jefé, stupid bitch. I moved down. I moved down to South Jersey. And
let's go.
So Bobby and Justin are kind of like halfway, or where they were like halfway. So Sunday I spent with my family. I go up north. I spent with my family. And on my way down, I was like, okay, I'll watch the end of the game. And so whole third period and overtime. And let me tell you something. I hate watching any game, like my team in a bar.
Yeah.
Or I hate it. Despise it.
Especially if the game noise isn't on properly.
Right.
But and this is where I was going to go with that, because I give them a lot of credit for this. So there was not many people there. It was outside. They had a huge projector screen, and they had MSG, like the broadcast MSG in the back. Yeah. So you could hear the crowd noise, and the people there weren't really Ranger fans, like casuals, Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sitting there and I'm freaking out. I'm jumping up and down. Like I'm going crazy. Bobby's like, relax, dude. There's so much time. Like, shut the fuck up.
Wow. I thought I was talking to Bobby Skinner for a second.
Penalty, and somebody fell on the ice. I was like, tripping.
Yeah.
When it wasn't even close to a tripping.
Yeah, exactly. Someone
just trying to get a power play willed to us.
Oh my God.
And when they scored that goal, I dropped. I was like,
let's go.
Because I don't know, I may have missed it. It was tough to see, even on replay. It was tough to see it go in.
I still don't know how
the overtime goal.
Still don't know how it went in, dude.
All I saw was the reaction of the players.
Exactly.
Yeah, right. I still haven't seen the angle of how that went in.
Neither have I. They've shown every angle under the sun, how the crowd reacted and everything, except they haven't shown the angle of which that puck went in the net.
The way the refereeing went in, I wouldn't be surprised to make them play the last minute. They go back.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
You know what?
And do it all over again.
We cannot confirm that the puck went into the goal.
Could you the amount of trash that would have been thrown on that ice?
Oh
and if there wasn't,
my God!
But I saw the guys like jump up in jubilation, and then that's when I went up. I threw my drink up, which Big waste.
Well, I understand.
Big
I
waste.
understand
Now
how
that I
that can
think about
happen.
it.
I wish there was like a live webcam on every one of us Ranger fans
I
at
know.
that moment.
I
man.
know. There was
I thought-
the Rangers Instagram put out a great video of like fan reactions today.
Yes.
That was cool. My
that
favorite
was.
one was when everybody was like on the plane watching it and going crazy.
Yes.
I thought to do it for the draft. I don't know why when overtime hit, I should have absolutely set a camera up. That's on me. I should know better.
You're too
After
caught
the
up in the moment. You're caught up
after
in the
the
moment.
draft I had. Well, I go outside, a couple of guys, and we're talking like what's about to happen in overtime is going to be like Will was saying. You're going to be the happiest version of yourself you could be, or you're going to be so depressed. And there's no in between. Game 7 overtime, it's one or the other. There is no tomorrow if you lose.
I'm literally saying to myself, I'm literally there. Like I do this because I get really into it, as I'm sure you guys do. And I go, Will, like out loud, don't let this affect you. It's just a game. They don't care about you. Like if they lose, like, don't lose sleep over it. It's just, there's more important things than in life. And then they score. And I'm just like, this is everything.
Yes. I keep telling myself, be a grown up, like don't put so much of your emotion into a sport that nobody cares about you. But you just can't help but hang on every single.
It's primal. It is an innate evolutionary instinct that we have, especially stronger in certain people, certain groups of people, even though I don't think you're allowed to say that anymore, where we feel we live vicariously. We live vicariously through these men and them competing against other people. We feel like, we've designated those are my guys, that's their guys. And it's like a survival thing. It really is, because we're civilized, but this is how we get this out. You know what I mean? So
true.
At least that's how I justify throwing things through the wall.
Oh, please.
Hey, but listen, let's talk about. We talked enough about Ranger hockey. Let's end the show on some talking Giants. Let's talk Giants. I'm not sorry for dropping the talking Giants thing. Yeah, sorry. That was a Freudian slip, I think, because Snacks brought up. We love you guys, Bobby, Justin, love you guys.
You said talking. There's a
talking.
Oh, he doesn't pronounce G's. He definitely didn't say talking.
You're right. So listen, guys, schedule release comes out. Tell me your thoughts on schedule release day. Does it even register on your Richter scale? Snacks, what's your thoughts? Do you plan shit out? How do you feel about schedule release day?
Yeah, so I love schedule day. I love when it gets announced. I mean, I usually go to every game anyway, but like back in the day when I didn't, I would get to pinpoint when I'm going. I usually, 4 games. I pick like 2 out of division, then Cowboys, Eagles always.
Yep.
But now that I really go to every game, it kind of doesn't matter. However, this year was a little different because I have some weddings.
Oh boy. Fucking weddings, man. The worst.
You're getting to be that age, aren't you?
You're that age.
All your friends are getting married. Yeah.
Yep.
Sunday weddings too, the worst.
These rotten fucking scumbags are getting married on Sundays.
Unbelievable.
Because it's cheaper. Those selfish pricks.
Bro, I'm not kidding. Like I'm missing the home opener.
Oh, wow.
I was going to ask you guys if you're going.
I haven't missed the home opener. I'm not kidding you. Since I was 13 years old, outside of COVID year.
That's fucking brutal, Snacks.
That's 16 years running.
That person better be like a family friend or I don't know, man.
Who is this person?
Who is this person? We gotta take him out.
This person's not in my will, I can tell you that. Very good friend. And as soon as I saw save the date, it said September 18th. I went right to the calendar. I was like, please be a Saturday. Sure enough, it's a Sunday. So then, okay, I'm like, all right, that's fine. I can make do. I can watch the game in my hotel room before I go to the wedding. But just please make sure it's an away game. And?
Of course not. Of course not.
Why would it be?
You know what? Friend of Snacks, you're lucky to have a good friend like Snacks that is willing to put aside Giants home opener for your wedding. And you should just think that thankful that you have a friend like Snacks in your life.
I agree with that, Spiro. However,
put it on record.
However, what I'm trying to figure out is if I can tailgate for 3 hours and then get up to Middletown, New York.
I don't see why not.
I think it's doable. I think it's fucking doable.
Yeah, but I can't
drive.
Will, let me ask you a question, because Will perfectly predicted the Giants' outcome of last season, and I'm interested to know
You got the lottery numbers tomorrow?
And if
Will?
you want to,
seriously.
if you want
We're
to
out here.
wait till late August again, that's fine.
Right.
But what are you thinking for this year?
I'm between 6 and 7 wins.
There.
That was a
probably
personal stat to throw out there. Sorry.
Well, I'll leave it alone.
I'm between 6 and 7. Anyway, back to the Giants.
the magnificent.
I don't remember last time.
But I'm between. I'm just very. I feel like there's so many variables. It's still early, by the way, so I'm allow myself some wiggle room. But in my opinion, every skill position on offense is kind of a question mark. I don't know what I'm getting from any of the receivers, the quarterback, or the running back. So and losing Bradbury, while it might be a decent move for the future and a necessary move, it's going to hurt us this year. Our schedule is pretty easy compared to other teams and other years. But who knows? I mean, there's a big range this year. The ceiling could be 10 wins if everything clicks. Right. The floor could be 4 wins if it doesn't and implodes and Jones is hurt and all this stuff happens. So I'm between. I said on Twitter the other day, I can't decide between 6 or 7 wins. So I'm going to go 6, 10, and 1. Is that the new math?
Yeah, that works. That works. It's unbelievable. It works. It's
but don't let me get you down.
No,
Jeff.
Because seven wins has been probably the most fair because the Giants won 4 games last year while not trying to score touchdowns.
Right. Blatantly not trying.
Like moving backwards when they got to the red zone, QB sneaks inside their own 5. You guys saw it. It was a field position game. It was just a pathetic brand of football. It was among the worst I've ever seen. It was the worst I've ever seen. I wasn't alive in the 70s. I hear it was pretty bad. This is the worst football I've ever seen. So you can blame it on Gettleman or Judge, or I don't really care who you blame it on, but I'm so happy with the new regime just right off the bat, just the vibes that they're bringing in, the fact that they've worked together previously. They already know what system they want to build, exactly what guys they want. So this is kind of a free year. They're getting the end of a rookie quarterback's contract. So if they can turn him into something, good for them. If not, they get to pick their guy or do their best to get their guy after that. So they're going to have a longer runway than previous guys because they're not going to keep turning over.
Yeah, see, I think that's such a great point. I love Joe Judge. It's clear. Everybody knows that I was same. Most people did. And I think I bought into the which I'll never make the same mistake again. I bought into that press conference, that's opening press conference, where he said everything that I wanted to hear, coming off of 2 absolutely abysmal head coaches in Shermer and McAdoo. And, the square pegs and round holes. Like I thought I was like, that's perfect.
Yeah.
But
sense.
Right. Exactly. But, there was still that dark looming cloud of Dave Gettleman, and that's not Joe Judge's guy. Joe Judge wasn't Dave Gettleman's guy. That was John Mara's guy. So there was always a cloud of doubt over the full operation.
Yeah.
Now, to me, that it was literally started from scratch, and Joe Shane was able to pick his guy. And my favorite part about this whole thing is, Judge was hiring a lot of his guys he worked with in Mississippi State or Alabama or New England, where they all just like collectively had chemistry, which is fine. I get that. You want to be with the guys that you know and you can trust. Brian Daves has gone out there. He hired Wink Martindale, never worked with him a day in his life.
Right.
But he was the best defense coordinator on the market. He went out there and he hired Mike Kafka, never worked for a day in his life. But he saw what he did in helping Patrick Mahomes and helping that Kansas City offense. So, and Joe Shane the same way. He's hiring front office personnel that he didn't work with outside of the one guy from Miami. The assistant GM, Brandon Brown, might be the best hire he's going to make.
Yeah,
fantastic.
I loved that hire.
So everything top to bottom, just on paper right now, and the way they're conducting business and doing everything has been so sound that while my excitement for Joe Judge was more so, I want to say coy and kind of optimistic, lunatic Giant fan, as an actual, diehard Giant fan who doesn't have his blinders on, I'm like, okay, this is the way you actually start to build sustained success. You're hiring the right guys. You're hiring out of the box. You're doing things differently than the old
Giants way.
Exactly. Right.
Yeah.
So to me, I think that's the most exciting part, and that's what puts trust in my regime. And I think Will's right. 6 to 7 wins is probably accurate, which sucks because on paper, that's
that's still 10 or 11 weeks you have to watch your team lose. So like that's
right,
still sucks.
exactly. But that schedule is not tough on paper.
It's not.
That's what I loved when the schedule came out, because I'm always my Mr. Glass half full optimistic self. When I first saw it, I was like, man, that looks like a 10-win, And then I was like, wait a minute, no. This is reset yourself, calm down, and then you start putting the realistic wins and losses. You're like, all right, we're gonna lose an easy game here somewhere or two. We're gonna win a game that we probably shouldn't, and it's gonna all wash out at the end.
Right.
Probably around 6 to 8 wins. That's where you end up coming around.
Yeah, and I think. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. I mean, but last year we won 4, and then because we have to go to Mike Glennon and Jake Fromm. This year we could lose Jones, and at least we have a Tyrod Taylor back there.
You got a guy who can keep you competitive.
Yeah. So they did everything that we could have. That in my mind, I was like, man, if you could lay out a perfect offseason, this would be it. And they might be 1 or 2 moves off, but they've nailed every fucking thing this whole offseason, from the GM to their first round picks to the coaches that on the coaching staff. I couldn't have asked for more on the first year of a rebuild, man. Couldn't ask for more. So
I was never more than cautiously optimistic on Judge. It takes me a while to really buy into something. I think people are anointing
very
him
smart
too quickly, and I never thought he was good in game. I really never got as high as a lot of other people did. And so unfortunately, I have to still see it with these guys. I was very high after the first round, and not to go down this rabbit hole. It felt Gettleman-esque to me after the first round, guys that I was like, really? Why this and that? But they obviously know more than we do. I watch actual film and study up on guys more than just to highlight real actual film on the guys we're interested in, and maybe the first round guys, because I'm just a nerd like that. After that, I really don't. I saw Wanda Robinson highlights and read about him, but they know more than I do. But I was a little upset with all the picks except like Beavers toward the end. So
Bellinger, didn't like Bellinger? Come on.
It's fine. It was fine. It was
for that late. For that late, doesn't really matter.
I was not excited, but as I've said this before, I had 4 goals for this offseason. I wanted them to sign a solid starting interior offensive lineman. I wanted them to, and they did. I wanted them to draft an offensive tackle in the first round. They did. I wanted them to draft an edge defender in the first 2 rounds, and they did. And I wanted them to bring in another interior offensive lineman within the first 3 rounds, and they did. So while Glowinski and the North Carolina guy, whose name I don't have right there yet to say,
get him, Jeff.
Easy do it. Easy
does it. Those weren't the guys I had in mind, but they checked all the boxes. So again, cautiously optimistic. If it all clicks and everyone's healthy and everyone's to their potential, like I said, it could be a 9. I don't want, dare I say 10 win, but there's always roadblocks and things that happen, which is why I say around 7-ish.
Yeah, it's on the right arm of the quarterback too. Like the offensive line on paper looks unbelievably improved,
and deep.
There's
now you actually have options.
It's clearly no secret of how atrocious it's been. They signed I would say an above average guard.
A solid vet.
And they also brought in other vets that have started in the league for competition too. They're not just throwing guys into the fire, which is great. Evan Neal projects to be the starting right tackle, and he dominated everybody in Alabama. Every Giant fan's excited about that. I think the pass rush, yes, we're counting on rookies, but these are also 2 top 7 guys, and top 7 guys contribute right away. You got guys in the 20s that contribute right away, and from 11 to 15 that contribute right away. So on paper, you're getting better production from 2 absolute positions of need. Yes, losing Bradbury hurts, and I think we're gonna see that. Like that QB1, that CB1 spot it's gonna be tough, because Adoree is a good player, and I like Adoree a lot, but he's also got an injury history, and I don't think he's as good as Bradbury. So I think we are gonna see the absence of Bradbury hurt a little bit. But yeah,
They'll bring
I mean,
somebody else in.
I hope so. Yeah, but it's still not going to match.
No.
The production of what James Bradbury. You know, he didn't have the All Pro year he had the year before last year, but he was still really good. And again, we finally get to see Daniel Jones with an offensive system that isn't from 1989.
Right.
He's going to have a better line.
Yeah.
He's hopefully going to have his weapons healthy. That's a big if because they all have their injury. Literally every single one of them have their injury concerns. But I mean, if he's ever got a shot to do it, it's now with the coaching, the system, the new improved offensive line, the weapon. Now or never, buddy.
Now or never.
Your lies and you're on.
Go.
If you're done, if you're turning the ball over, you're putting it on the ground again. See ya.
Agreed.
That's the thing. Like Will was saying, how many things have to break right. Like you're talking about a new system. The old line has to gel. Barkley stay healthy. Be rookie year. Barkley all like Galladay. Be a shell of yourself, like of the guy that used to lead the league in touchdown. So many things, and then the biggest question mark is the biggest factor. Like Snacks was saying, Daniel Jones. We don't know if he's actually going to be good or not after 3 years, because there's been plenty of reasons why he can't succeed. And there's been plenty of plays and games that make you go, he's not the guy. But then he flashes and he does this. Like, if you say you know definitively, you're full of it because there's no way to know. And this year is going to be the answer in one way or another.
Exactly. One way or the other. If he goes out and listen, as a Giants fan, I pray to God he goes out and balls out because then that's one less thing we have to worry about. And the big thing that we don't have to worry about, because I'll put my trust in Joe Shane to build out a roster capable of competing for a division, but you need the quarterback. Doesn't matter without it.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
So if Daniel goes out and he throws 27, 30 touchdowns, 14 picks, 3,800, like I'll see something. That's a drastic jump from what he's just did. His first.
Give me his rookie season numbers. I'm cool with that.
Yeah, minus the fumbles. Yeah,
minus the fumbles. Right.
Yeah.
Well, that's one thing that happened last year. He started off and he wasn't fumbling as much, and I put forth the theory that it wasn't that he was protecting the ball better. He just wasn't getting hit blindside as much because Thomas was playing a lot better.
Yeah. Thanks, Nate's older.
Getting hit a little more. And I think his fumble to hit ratio was exactly the same. I've said, you're right. Jeff, you can't get a total read on him because the best I can do is to say, and I've said this before a million times, I think he's the kind of guy you can win games with him at quarterback, but he's not going to win you games but unfortunately, and that's kind of like what Eli was, except Eli had the magic factor.
Clutch factor.
If you don't have that if Eli didn't have that, we wouldn't have been happy probably with the Eli
For sure
year.
not.
And so unfortunate, and it's very rare to have that. So if he's just going to be that sort of a guy, it might not be enough. But the thing that I'm rooting for him, the thing that I'm most excited about with this Giants team, if everybody's healthy, if the system that they put in place really works, I'm really excited. I think we can perfect the back-to-back quarterback sneaks from our own 5-yard line.
Yes, agreed.
Agreed. I think can be the answer. We got Glowinski. We're going to have motion going back and forth.
I think we can gain a yard. I think we can gain a yard.
They're not going to know what hit them is all I'm trying to say.
I got to tell you, that is one well thought out answer, one thought out response. Only a hit with the dagger at the end.
You could tell he's done some stand-up comedy because
he's ready to go. He knew it. He knew
back in the day.
He knew the show was wrapping up, and he tried to go out on a bang. And
listen, we are wrapping up. Let's bring Fly Guy back here, buddy. How we doing,
guys? How we doing?
Fly Guy.
What's up, man?
Listen, hey guys, I gotta thank you for something. It looks like the screen name for Alexei Lafreniere is Snacks. He looks just like him. I swear to God. I was going to ask you for an autograph for the show.
Let's go.
Hey, listen, I'll take that any day.
That's a compliment.
Hefe, you know who you look like? Hefe?
Who?
You look like Zibanejad.
Oh yeah, yes.
I can see that
flow
too.
Going. You're right.
I have a wig around here somewhere.
Yeah, we gotta get that wig on, and we gotta have that now. You're right.
I'll take that.
Damn, I didn't see that. Hey, Fly Guy, real quick before we wrap up, we had Snacks, and we had Will give us what their predictions are going forward. A, what do you think about schedule day? B, what do you think about the Giants next year? Real quick, give us your thoughts there.
Schedule day to me is like draft day. It's Christmas in April.
Yeah. I hear
So,
you.
or
I hear you.
in this case, May. So,
Right.
if you can't get jacked up by either one of those days, then you're not a true football fan. So,
go.
I look forward to that as much as I did in the draft. And my prediction, I went through it 7-10.
That's fair.
And I
Yeah.
think, my sweet spot all season long for them, as we said it on our show, 6 to 8 wins. So
Yes.
it lands perfectly. And I think what we all need to remember is next year is not going to be about wins and losses. It's building the foundation, building the interior, seeing what you got, and implementing these systems. And so you give me 7-10. Okay, it's an improvement. Give me a competitive team. Give me an offense that can move the ball effectively. Can't worry about just taking a knee. Give me an offense that, allows Daniel Jones to throw the ball downfield a little bit more, maybe move him around the pocket. We see a resurgence in Saquon again.
Yes.
Give me an opportunistic and aggressive defense. I want to see pressure on the quarterback. I want to see blitzing, crowd the box. I want to see defense that can finally make a play on a 3rd and 1 when we need them to come up with that stop on 3rd and 1.
3rd and anything, right? Like
Exactly.
Yeah. 3rd and
Exactly.
long,
Third and
much
40.
long. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
So
like 3rd and 11, I'd be like, who's getting open? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
because they'd have all day back there.
because we had no pass rush, so like it was a
Right.
disaster. Sick
right.
of that.
So, I'll take that and I'll be happy.
Give me a really ultra competitive 5-12 season where we could then get our quarterback of the future on top of that, and I won't be sad even.
Spiro
5 wins
calling
is my
for
listen,
an optimistic 5.
Listen, an optimistic 5 where we lose a game like 36-35, like where we're just a couple of those heartbreakers at the end, and then we still have our chance at that Bryce Young or the the Stroud, like somebody big like that. That's a perfect world.
If the offense scores 30 points, that in itself is going to be
right, we won't even care what the result of the game was.
If
then
that
we're
happens
moving in the right
once,
path,
if
so-
that happens once, it's such a good sign because that's been an insurmountable number.
Do we-
for the
Think
Giants.
about it. Go ahead,
Go ahead,
Snack.
Fly.
I'm sorry.
No. I was just going to say, the first time we scored 30 points the following week, do we throw a ripper? Like, do
Yeah, has to. The biggest party, tailgate out the ass. I don't even care if it's an away game. It doesn't matter. We're just going to still get that parking lot.
No, I agree.
Let's fucking go.
London.
We appreciate you, Nate, and everybody in the chat that stayed with us all along.
Love
Make
you
sure
guys.
Revival was tagging these guys, so make sure you check out our recent posts so you can follow Will, Snacks, and Fly Guy. They each got their own things going on. All really good friends, great content creators, former
Appreciate you guys.
comedians, right? Like there's some real talent here. No, but we love you guys. Thanks for hanging out with the Revival. We will see you next time.
Guys, thanks for having me.
I
Appreciate
just
it.
want to say thanks to
Thanks for
Snacks.
coming through, guys.
Nice meeting you, Snacks and Fly Guy. Spiro.
Will, great to meet you,
Kalinita.
buddy.
Nice
And,
meeting you, Will.
You too, Kalinita, Spiro, and
Yes.
Jefé. I'm a little bit.
Got you, baby. Let's
Don't
go.
worry about missing the game. I know you're missing the Ranger game, right? Game on for the concert. But listen, Celine Dion only comes to the Garden every so
It's
often.
true.
So
It's true.
don't be involved. All right.
And Snacks, I want a hat trick out of you tomorrow night, Snacks.
What if I give you 4?
Thanks, guys.
I'll take 4.